welcome back, class. All right, let's talk about this sixth lesson, alternative ways to earn money. So we've looked at so many different ways of earning money and so many terms surrounding earning money in this unit already, and today's lesson is just going to focus on some of the ways we haven't talked about as much. So in the first lesson, we talked about piecework and commission and a few other things that we haven't really addressed so far, and so this lesson will be a little bit of an exploration of that. But because I don't really have good notes for you on that, it's really just going to be examples, and you can look back on the examples for different types of getting paid, and if you want to do some highlighting of keywords, for example, in the first example here about Jess, who's working as a tree planter, he earns his income through piecework. Okay, so if you wanted to highlight piecework, you could, because that would be a good reference point for you if you did another question about piecework. Okay, so I'm just going to do the examples because that's all we have today to do. All right, so yes, Jess works as a tree planter during the summer and earns income through piecework. He is paid $2.50 for each seedling he plants. If he plants, I already found a typo. Sorry, you guys. Okay, this here where it says 45 seedlings is supposed to say 450. Okay, so just correct that. I did actually a little bit of research on tree planting, and I guess they plant tons in a day. Whatever. This example is not totally accurate, but it works. Okay, so if he plants 450 seedlings in a day, how much will he earn each day is the implication. Okay, so if he gets paid $2.50 for each seedling and he gets 450 planted in a day, then we can find his total earnings by multiplying the number of trees he plants by the price he earns, or the pay he earns per seedling. Okay, so I'm going to just multiply in my calculator 450 times $2.50, and that is going to equal $1,125. Okay, so I realize this is not actually a super realistic example. That would be crazy if you could earn that much in a day, but we are going to just say that he earned that much. Okay. All right, next example. Isla knits sweaters as a hobby. She charges $75.50 for a large and $69.75 for a medium. How much will she earn if she sells 3 large? Okay, so that's how much the large cost is, $75.50, and 2 medium. Okay, so I'm just color coding the cost that goes with the number of sweaters so that it's easy for us to keep track of how much of each. Okay, so let's start with the large there. Okay, so she's selling 3 of the $75.50 sweaters, right? Because she's selling 3 larges. So I'm just going to plug that into my calculator, and that gives me $226.50. Okay, reminder to round properly. Okay, I do need that 0 there. In your calculator, it's just going to show up as 226.5, but remember, we do need to add that 0 because we're talking about money. Okay, lots of mistakes on that in the last couple classes I've taught, not just our class, but all the classes I teach that have money in them. So just want to remind you about that. Okay, and then she also sells 2 medium sweaters. So we're going to multiply the cost of the medium sweater, which is $69.75, by 2. Whoops. And that is going to equal, let's see, $69.75 times 2. Gives me $139.50. And again, remember that extra 0. And then to find a total, we're just going to add it up, right? So we're going to add up that $226.50 plus, that does not look like a plus. Let's try that again. There we go, plus $139.50. And that is going to give me $366 as a final answer. There we go, so that's how much she's going to earn. Okay, and we should be putting a sentence answer. I forgot to do that in the previous example, so you should go back and add a sentence answer. My bad. Okay, there we go. She earns $366.00. All right, next question. Joey is a freelance writer. He often writes articles for the local paper that pay. Here's some key information. 35 cents per word. Okay. And how long was his article if he was paid $192.50 for his most recent work? Okay, so let's think about this. Usually his pay is equal to 35 cents per word times the number of words, right? I guess if we want to be like a little bit more precise, we can add like a little number sign there. Okay, number of words. There we go. Okay, so usually that's what we're looking at, right? But this time we already know how much he got paid. So this time we're saying 192. Oh dear. There we go. 192.50 is his total pay, and we know that it's going to be $0.35 times the number of words, right? So what we're looking for is the number of words. That's what we want, and we can do that we can do that as in solve that, find that answer by dividing by 35 cents each side. Okay, and so then the number of words is equal to 192.50 divided by 0.35 or 35 cents. So that's equal to 550 words. So his article, oh dear, there we go, had 550 words. And I'm going to put like a weird square around this. Okay, there we go. All right, Ming works in a furniture store and earns commission at a rate of 6.5% of his gross sales. Okay, so there's an important piece of information. I'm just going to underline that. And he sold $9,865 worth of furniture last week. How much commission did he earn? Okay, so we're looking for how much commission. That's at 6.5% did he earn. Okay, sorry, just had to get some water. Okay, so remember that to find a percentage, you always take the decimal version, right? And so we know that when we move the decimal 2 places to the left, we're going to get a decimal of 0.065, which represents 6.5%. Okay, so we're going to take his total sales. We're going to multiply it by his commission rate. Again, we're always using that decimal value. Okay, so that's like a major thing. Please remind yourself of that. If you need to, make yourself a note maybe on the side of the page or something. And then we can do that multiplication. Okay, so 9,865 times 0.065 is going to give me $641, and I'm going to round. Remember, we only have 2 decimal places with money. Okay, so again, in your calculator, it's going to say this. Oh, no, that's not true. Sorry. There we go. This, but this is not a decimal that we can use with money. Okay, so I'm going to round to the second decimal place here with that 3. Okay, so that's what you should get is $641.23, and we're going to end with a sentence. Ming earns $641.23. Here we go. Okay, all right, moving down to the next page. Monica is Mrs. Friesen's very awesome realtor. This is a true fact. She is very awesome. In fact, she helped us buy a house last week. It's awesome. When selling a home, let's say that Monica makes 5% commission on the first $250,000. Okay, so here's some important info. 5% on the first $250,000 of the house, and then 2% on any amount over that. Okay, so I'm going to take a different color here and highlight that. 2% on any amount over that. Okay, how much will Monica make if she sells a house worth $375,900? All right, so let's work first to figure out how much more than, okay, hang on, I'm trying to say that you can see that this number, $375,900, is more than $250,000, right? Like, that's very clear. This much is more than this much, okay? And so we want to figure out how much more it is, right? So this is more than $250,000, but by how much? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take $375,900, and we're going to subtract $250,000, okay? Of course, you can do this in your calculator, okay? And that is going to give me $125,900 more than, okay? And now the reason that we're doing that is because the $250,000 that we did here is the 5% commission amount, and the remaining, the amount that's over $250,000, is the 2% commission amount, okay? So let's work on the 5% commission first. So we have that 250,000, oh dear. Times, again, remember we're using the decimal version of the percentage, okay? So if you want to put a little reminder here, that's 0.05 is a decimal, okay? Then we can just throw that into our calculator, and that gives us 12,500. Okay? Then the next part is looking at the 2%, right? So the remaining amount she earns 2% on. Okay? I'm going to run out of space for a sentence here, you guys, but please put a sentence, okay, as your final answer. All right, so now, any amount over the $250,000, so that's this amount here that we found, okay, there on the left at $125,900, that is going to be the amount that she earns 2% commission on. So we're just going to take that amount, okay, not the full $375,900, just the remaining part that's over $250,000, okay? And we're going to multiply that by 2%, so by 0.202. And I'm going to plug that into my calculator as well. So $125,900 times 0.02 to represent 2% is going to give me $2,518.00. And so then we're going to use just one more color here to do a total. I'm very much running out of room. I'm sorry, you guys. And to find the total, well, I think I should give myself a little bit more room somehow. Okay, let's try this. I'm really improvising here on the space. Sorry, everybody. Okay, there we go. So total is going to be that first amount, 12,500, plus the second amount, 2,518. And we're going to add those together. And that gives me $15,018. And like I'm saying, I don't have space for a sentence. Please add one yourselves. Your writing will be much smaller than mine because you don't have this stylus problem. Okay? All right. So that's another good commission question. Okay? Because we're talking about earning a percentage, right, of an amount, a total amount. And just to go back, this was also a commission question with Ming, right? And it says that in both questions, like, they earn commission, okay? So those are good questions to refer to if we ever do another commission question. And realizing that I didn't talk about this previous question about Joey, this is also called piecework, okay? Because he's getting paid like per word, so it's per piece of product, okay? So there we go. All right, moving down here. David earns a salary of $375 per week plus 5% commission. There's another keyword, okay, on his sales. David sells $6,521 of goods in 1 week. How much did he make? And I mean that week. How much did he make that week? Okay. So if you want to add that to be clear, you can feel free. Okay, so we know that he's going to earn $375 plus commission. Okay? And so to find that commission amount, we're going to look at his, let's choose a different color. There we go. We're gonna look at that $6,521 and his 5% commission rate. Okay, so let's maybe label our work here. Commission is going to be 5% of 6,521. Okay, so we're going to take 6,521. We're going to multiply it by 5%. Remember that that's the decimal version of 5%, 0.05. Okay, plugging that into my calculator here. You can probably hear the buttons. Gives me $326.05. Okay, so now we can add in that amount here, $326.05, into our total pay statement. And so then that is going to give me his total pay. So let's write our sentence after we find that out. So 375 plus $326.05 is going to give me a grand total of $701.05. So David earns $701.05. There we go. Okay. As usual, if you have questions, just message me anytime. All right. Everly earns $416.03 of commission on her sales of $9,245. What is her rate of commission? Okay, so if you take a look back at this question, here you can see that when we were finding commission, we multiplied. And you're going to see that here as well, right, in Monica's question. Every time we were finding commission, we did some multiplication. So that means that when we're finding the rate of commission, we already know the amount of commission and the amount it's based off of. We're going to want to do some division. Okay, so let's, so many colors always, you guys. I never know what to pick. Okay, so her percent commission is going to be found by dollars of commission. Oh boy. Commission, there we go, divided by dollars sold. Okay, so in this case, the dollars of commission are here, right? So that's $416.03, and the dollars sold are here, so 9,245. Okay, and then we're going to always multiply by 100 when we're finding a percentage. Okay, I need to write this a little bit smaller though. Hold on one second. There we go. Okay, so $416.03 divided by 9,245. It's going to give me 0.00. Nope, that's too many zeros. Sorry, 0.045. And then we're going to multiply that by 100. Okay, so that's going to give me 4.5%. Okay, so then our final sentence answer will be Everly earns 4.5%. There we go. Okay, this last one is our longest example. That's why I left us some space here. So Jay is figuring out what he should charge for repairing the steps on a client's house. The cost of materials will be, let's choose a different color. Yeah, red, sure. $785.96. He has to hire 2 workers for 8 hours each at a rate of $12.85 per hour. And he wants to earn at least $450 for himself. What should he charge the client in the contract? Okay, so this might feel like a lot of work to you, but don't worry. I think this is actually going to be very doable. I don't think you guys are going to think this is so bad. What we're looking at here is just a series of costs that Jay, that's an East Indian name. My cousin's name is Jay. So some people say it Jay, some people say it Jay, whatever. Anyways, this example has a list of costs that Jay has to take into account in order to figure out how much he should charge the client. Okay, so the first thing is that materials cost $785.96. Okay, so that's the first thing he has to take into account. Then, so that's materials. Then the next thing he has to take into account is workers. Okay, so employees. And he wants them, there are 2 of them. They're each working 8 hours and they're each getting paid $12.85 per hour. Okay, and you don't need the per hour when you do the multiplication. Okay, and so then we can find that out by putting it into our calculator. 2 times 8 times 12.85 is going to give me $205.60. And then he wants to save $450 for himself. Okay, or I guess earn. Maybe that's a better word. That's in the question. He wants to earn $450. So these are the total costs, right? So if he's going to pay for the materials, then he's going to pay his employees, and then he's going to earn some money on top of all that to pay himself, then he needs to take all three of those costs into account to find his total to charge. Because what he's saying in the example is that he doesn't want to pay for those things out of his own pocket. He wants the person who he's working for to pay for everything, right? How much did he charge the client means that he doesn't want to pay for anything for himself, of course. And so then all of this money is going to come from the client. So we're just going to add those three up together, okay? Oh boy. Okay, and so I'm going to plug that into my calculator. $785.96 plus $205.60 plus $450 is equal to $1,441.56. So our final answer is he should charge at least $1,441.56. Now, the reason I'm saying at least is because he could actually charge less than that. More than that to make it like a round number. Okay, so if he didn't want to charge them like a weird number like this, if he wanted to round it up maybe to $1,450, he could do that. And then that will satisfy the fact that he wants to earn at least $450 for himself. Any extra cost will just be money that he gets to save. Okay. There we go. We just have one last lesson after this one, okay? And this is the end of the lesson on different types of pay, okay? And I realized right now that we didn't answer one small part of the question about ILA, okay? What type of work is this? My bad. Just totally missed it when we were doing the example. Okay, so I'm just going to go back and we're going to talk about what type of work this is. So because Isla is charging different amounts for the sweaters and then gets paid like per sweater, so per item of sweater, or like per sweater created, I guess is what I'm trying to say, then we call that piecework. Okay, so this is piecework, and that's because she's getting charged per item that she makes. It has nothing to do with how long she works or where she works or overtime or anything like that. Okay, it's just talking about how does she get paid, and it's just how many sweaters she makes. Okay, so anyways, there you go. Those are all different types of pay that you can earn and different ways to get paid. So hopefully those are helpful examples for you. You can expect 1 to 2 examples like this on the next assignment that relates to this lesson and the previous one. All right, I'll see you next time.